The Jets also moved Quinnen Williams, to the Dallas Cowboys, and once again, and I'm sorry, they came out of it with 6 first-round picks. I misspoke earlier, not 5, 6, because they got 2 more. No, wait a minute.
No, you're right. It's still
wrong.
5. It's still 5.
I was right the first time.
Yes,
it's 5.
you were. Right.
They get a second-round pick and a first-round pick for Quinnen Williams, not 2 1s. That's still a damn good haul. A 1 and a 2 for Quinnen Williams, a guy who's been around since 2019. That is a huge return. And they get Mozzie Smith. Quinnen Williams goes to the Cowboys. And, Jerry made good on his huckstering from Monday that he's working on trades and he's got one done. And, we've heard him say that before and he didn't really deliver. I wonder how much everyone was on the same page here. I wonder if there's the same institutional top to bottom. Like, is this really going to help us? Are we really, is he really going to make our defense better? I don't know. But it feels more like a desperation move for a 3-5-1 team that seems to be circling the drain after Monday night's loss. If anything, I would have thought that the Cowboys would say, you know what, let's not mortgage the future here. This team isn't good enough to mortgage the future. The Colts at 7-2 will mortgage some of the future, especially because we got one guy that we know we're gonna have for a long time. But with Quinnen Williams, how long is he really going to be there? How much of his prime is left? We see what happens with defensive linemen. Look at what's happening with Chris Jones. Not that he's a slouch, but he's not what he was.
Right.
That window closes fairly quickly on your highest possible level of performance. So your thoughts on the Cowboys making this move? And also, we'll start from the Cowboys' perspective because they're the ones that desperately need help. I just think my first reaction, they're being a little bit too desperate here, and maybe they're just desperate to make a headline.
Yeah, I look at it with the Cowboys, and I just go, do they really have plans? Do they just fly by the seat of their pants? That's what it seems like, right? I mean, they tried to sell us all that bull crap about Micah, and there was a plan there, and it was like, no, there wasn't. And Micah played hardball, and he put you in a corner, and you were like, okay, we gotta avert the mission here and go somewhere else. There was no plan. He tried to, remember, Jerry Jones tried to sell us that bull crap about, in the offseason and this was better now or whatever. And it's like, no, it would have been better in the offseason if you had a real plan. So that's where I don't get it. And as you heard me say 3 weeks ago and then probably 5 times after that, the Cowboys aren't 1 or 2 players away. I mean, they're not 1 or 2 guys away. You heard Troy Aikman laughing about it on Monday night. He laughed about it. I don't know. It's in a defense that looks like 1 or 2 players away to me. Right? So that's where you just go, what? In this year where you're definitely not a Super Bowl team, are you maybe in the playoff window as a 7 seed? Sure. But yeah, to mortgage your future on that, I don't get that. Plus, you just traded away picks for George Pickens, and you haven't paid him yet, so that's still sitting there and everything. So I don't get it. Now, Quinnen Williams is still a really good football player, and he helps their defense. We know that, yes. But at the same time, when I tell you about lack of plans, I go, wait, so we got Kenny Clark to stop the run. Oh, wait, we still can't stop the run. We paid Oza Odigizua 4-year, $80 million contract, 2 years ago? And now he's going to be a backup? Is that what he's going to do? Your $80 million defensive tackle is going to be the backup for Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark? Is that where we're going? See, that to me, where's the plan? What are we doing here? So, yeah, I like the player. Quinnen Williams is in the prime of his career. He does fit the system. But, yeah, he's on the downslope with the prime of his career, to your point there. And I don't know if it really makes a whole lot of sense to me as far as the Cowboys concerned. It makes a lot of sense for the New York Jets. I do know that.
Well, and yesterday, the news that broke during the show, they traded for Logan Wilson, a guy who was benched on the worst defense we've seen in years. How's that going to help the Dallas Cowboys? All due respect to Logan Wilson, but I don't know that these two guys are going to make a difference for the Cowboys. And it just feels like Jerry doing what he has to do to keep the team relevant. He admitted on Monday that's what he does. He told Stephen A. Smith, I like to create controversy. When it's quiet, I stir up shit. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's
he
so
wants
stupid.
His team to be relevant.
That's stupid. That's why it says
trade dead. And he claims it's never kept the team from scoring a touchdown. which is baloney because it's a distraction and it causes things to be done for the wrong motivations. You're making decisions not based on winning football games. You're making decisions based on winning headlines.
Well, a few weeks ago, he told us he wasn't really worried about the team because oil's making money right now. And he's worried about oil because it's making money. But now he cares and he's back to being GM. I don't know what the messaging there is all over the place. It's hard to defend the Dallas Cowboys and their actions and what they say and what they do. They want one thing and they talk out of the other side of their mouth and totally ruin the one thing they say they want. So I just don't buy it. I don't get it that way. But yeah,
it makes them relevant. It makes them interesting.
It makes them relevant. But I know at the end of the day, he still wants to squash the ghost of Jimmy Johnson past and show everybody he can win a Super Bowl without him. And he just does things all the time where I go, man, you just continually screw yourself in this conversation. So, yeah, Logan Wilson, nice player,
what he should do
but
that?
not special.
You know what he should do then?
Right, what?
If he wants to do that, maybe he should take a page from the Carly Ursay-Gordon playbook and take off his little hat and put on a headset. Maybe that's what he should do.
Yeah, I doubt he'll do that. He likes sitting in the box and being shown on TV and talking with the guys. So I don't think that's going to happen either. But yeah, it's a weird one as far as the timing of it for the Dallas Cowboys and where they are as a team right now in this individual season. Right? So that's where you don't get it. And then, on top of that, just to go over to the Jets for a second, the Jets, again, like you heard me say, they want big people. I understand them wanting Mozzie Smith from the Dallas Cowboys, who's been underwhelming. But again, this is where I get back to Dallas with lack of plans sometimes, where I go, wait, you keep picking defensive coordinators and you took Mozzie Smith in the first round. He's a big, let me run, stop, do that type of thing. But you play a defense where you want quick, fast guys. That's where I just go, sometimes I don't know if they got to talk out loud and hear what they're talking about sometimes in Dallas. That doesn't make sense. Detroit, we know, Aaron Glenn, where he came from, they like guys like Mozzie Smith. Huge, sits there, double teams can't move him, right? They're going to see if they can unlock him in a scheme that fits him better. It's going to be more like what he did in Michigan instead of, like I talked about, this speed Seattle scheme and what they asked their D tackles. So, yeah, it's another, I think, a really good trade for the Jets because they're going, yeah, this is a good player, but he's kind of coming towards the downslope of his prime, and he's not really what we want for our football team. Damn, you'll give us a first rounder and a second rounder? Sure, we'll take it. Deal. See you later. And they can build for the future, and that's why I definitely like it for what the Jets and what they're doing.
Well, I wish they had done the deal last week, and I wish Kyler Murray had been getting ready to play against the Cowboys on Monday night because maybe we would have gotten a repeat of the time that Quinnen Williams was talking about
your
Kyler
favorite.
Murray
when
Quinnen was at Alabama. And he just stops. He's starting to talk about Kyler Murray, and he hears Nick Saban in his brain, and he just stops. We need to find that. And there are other things. I mean, Quinnen Williams is very engaging. And to the extent the Cowboys are trying to be relevant and interesting and entertaining, he'll be relevant and interesting and entertaining for the folks who cover the Dallas Cowboys. Now,
yeah.
The real goal should be to be, good enough to win football games. But
he's gonna help
the defense is horrible, so anything they do is going to make it better.
Right.
It's just, does this really make the Cowboys into a playoff team? And this doesn't feel like the kind of long-term play the Colts were making with Sauce Gardner. This feels like a shorter term, maybe through next year. There aren't a lot of guarantees in his contract. He's signed through 2027. You just wonder how long this is going to last for Quinnen Williams and the Cowboys and what other moves they're going to be making. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.